Welcome back to Yahoo Finance's special Women and Equality. Women are the majority of Americans. That's right. There's more of us than there are men. We also make up the majority of voters. But what does that really mean? And how can women use that to move an agenda forward? Joining us now is Adora Jenkins, Brand Managing Director for Supermajority. So Adora, you're calling yourselves a new home for women's activism. What's new about women's activism right now that's different than 100 years ago?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to talk about voting and women voting especially. What's new about this is that we are building a movement of women of all ages, races, and from all backgrounds together so that because we know that together we are incredibly powerful. What's new about that is movements of the past have tended to leave women of color out. And this has tended to separate us. And what we know is that we're only a supermajority when all of us actually come together and work toward our own interest. In our case, this is imagining and building a world where women are truly equal.
I think right now, so many people feel that the country is very divided. So when you look at the supermajority of women, what are the Venn diagrams where you're seeing people can come together? Where can people find common ground right now?
Well, we actually put together, I think, what we would call our sort of common ground. We call it the majority rules. We actually surveyed over 100,000 women in this country, something that's kind of never been done before, and asked them about the issues that they care about most. And what we found is that our majority rules definitely hold those values. Those values are, one, that our lives are safe. Right. I think we can all rally around the fact that we women have to carry our keys to our car like in between our knuckles and check the back seat, and we run with one, ear pod in. So our lives need to be safe. Two, that our bodies are respected and that we should make decisions about our medical care and our bodies, and that the medical professionals should actually care. We know that, for instance, Black women die at a much higher rate in childbirth than white women. And so that feeds into that. We believe that our families should be supported. So we're talking about, having childcare, and that's universal, and paid time off, paid leave, so that we can take care of our families. And we believe that our government should represent us. And I think that's what we're hoping happens this fall. We believe that women will decide the election this fall, and that our government can finally start to represent us.
Adora, going off of that, what is the feedback that you're hearing from the women that you're talking to? Are you confident that this is a momentum that is building right now, and this will be a moment that we actually do enact some change?
I think if we're ever going to do it, I think it's now. And I do think that's what we're hearing from women around the country. They're ready. They're raising their hands and they're saying, I'm not going to sit on the sideline. I want to do more. And that's why we built Supermajority, so that there's a place that women can go to get information, tools, and community to get out the vote and to continue to advocate on our behalf beyond this election.
For this election, we have a woman on the ticket. So the supermajority might get somebody in the second highest office in the land. Is the supermajority fully behind here?
Yeah, we've actually endorsed Biden and Harris, and we could not have been more excited to see Kamala Harris chosen as Joe Biden's running mate. We saw an explosion on our social media. We've seen just like an outpouring of support for this woman. And we also know that the sort of disinformation hives have been busy at work, making claims about her record and who she is. And we just have an army of women stood up to defend her.
And Adora, how important is it, or how big of a step forward is it that she is a minority, just not only a woman, but just advancing that narrative as well? Because that's something that we've been talking about here on Yahoo Finance, and how important that is for future growth.
Yeah, I mean, it's our government finally representing us. I can't even tell you how, just myself as a Black woman, as a woman who's the daughter of an immigrant and has a mixed race background, that, just being able to see yourself in someone else for the first time in that position, how much that means to us and how hard that means that we're going to fight to ensure that we see her in the White House.
All right, Adora Jenkins, it's great to have you on the show. We really appreciate you taking the time to give us your perspective. Supermajority Brand Managing Director, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for having me.